up, everybody? Big Fat Puss, and welcome back to the BygMan Plays! Planescape Torment requested by Bormac. When last left off, we got Fall from Grace to join our party. She's a cleric. Despite the fact she's a succubus, she's a priest. I said cleric, but yeah. She's a priest with priest skills. Cure light wounds, blessings, protections from evil. She has an extensive array of some spells. So, yes. I am beyond happy to have her. Everyone else ain't, but I don't give a fuck. Anyway, let's talk to her.
Yes?
Now, let's see. She can... Can you teach me anything about the art? What? I can become a cleric? A black line? Fall from Grace shakes her head slightly. No, I do not believe so. The art and the disciplines I practice are different. How do you mean? My powers, as you see them, stem from my faith, not from manipulating energies as the art does. The art is a mechanism by which the power of the multiverse may be harnessed, through gestures, rituals, and devices. My power comes from me through a different means. My faith in the nature of my belief allows some of the multiverse to reveal itself to me. Nature of belief? What do you believe in? I believe in experience. That's an interesting god, never heard of it. I believe a person may be changed for the better. The more the multiverse they are allowed to perceive, and the more the multiverse is allowed to perceive them. My belief in the nature of experience allows me to... She pauses for a moment, thinking. I suppose the best explanation is that my faith allows me to see things differently. When you see the multiverse in such a way, you learn how to change things, mending wounds, seeing a person's heart, and so on, just by willing them to happen. But those changes do make a lot of... those changes you make seem a lot like spells. How do you learn to do those things? Do you have a spell book? No. My spells, as you call them, they come to me after I have rested and centered myself. When I sleep and awaken, I can focus myself once more. The amount of faith required to change the multiverse around me can be quite taxing on the psyche. I'm afraid just being able to see how to change things is not enough. You must have the strength to make the change happen and last. Please,
Yes.
you have questions? Do you ever use weapons? No, there is seldom the need, and I find that I cannot bear the touch of cold iron, or even steel for long periods of time. In any event, I have a number of natural defenses that lend to discourage attackers, such as the kiss of a succubus is lethal to mortals, though they rarely realize the danger until their death is almost upon them. Fall for great size, I can resort to when the need arises. See? Let's see. Why'd you set up the brothel? I established the brothel to give those lustful fevers that strike the mind more avenues of expression rather than the simply carnal. Much pleasure can be had in conversation and engaging in the verbal arts with others. Okay. Okay, if you're from the Abyss, how'd you end up in Sigil? It has a long tail, and not as interesting as some would make it out to be. Just sighs. It is intertwined in other tales of war and slavery. It is not a pleasant... I would still like to hear it, because I'm a douchebag. Very well. No, my past is not a long one, at least by Tanari standards. I do not know if you are familiar with the Tanari, but we are a race of the Abyss. A staggered series of planes filled with chaos and evil hearts. You won. I am a Tanari, a fiend, a succubus. I grew up upon the first plane of the Abyss. My mother was a succubus herself, and I'm sure you are aware succubi tempt mortals to bring their souls to the Abyss. My mother was among the finest, seducing countless mortal men to their eternal damnation. She now dwells in the Abyss, selling her children into slavery. Your mother sold you into slavery? Yes. She sold me to the Batsera, the blood enemies of the Tanari. I think she rather expected that they would kill me, despite her knowledge of other subjects. She knows little of their culture and the delight they take in tormenting others. How did you escape? The Betsero are a proud species. The thought a Tenari could best them at anything was intolerable to them. So I challenged one of the proudest of the Balar to a contest of improvisation, and my Tenari nature afforded me an advantage. You see, the Tenari are creatures of chaos, wild and unpredictable. The Betsero are more cunning, with orderly hearts. They understand improvisation, but they are not its best practitioners. And thus I won my freedom, and my path brought me to Sigil. Oh, Kai! Have you heard of a night hag named Ravel? I am familiar with the name. Fall from Grace paused and thinks for a moment. Rumors cluster thickly about that name, and most tend to discount her as myth. But I suspect she did exist, and she made quite an impression in the cage during her stay here. She looks puzzled. Why do you ask? Intend to seek her out. Grace raises an eyebrow. Truly? I find myself compelled to ask why. I need the information that she has. Yeah. All the crazy ramblings that bitch will provide. Is this information available to no one else? From no one else? Yeah. I expect that only Ravel possesses this knowledge I need.
Journal.
Grace rests her hand slightly on your arm. Consider this. If Ravel does indeed exist, then she is extremely powerful and cunning. If a fraction of the stories of her activities are true, then she is a creature that has discovered new meanings of evil. The search for her is not a quest to be undertaken lightly. I realize that. Well, I have never met a myth. This should be quite the outing. She smiles. Don't you ever try doing anything boring? I try not to do anything else about Ravel. She was said to be one of the hags of the Great Waste, and she was believed to possess powers and a cunning far beyond those of her sisters. She came to Sigil long ago, and in addition to the evil she committed during her stay, rumor has it that her actions threatened the cage itself. Now she primarily exists only as fiction, a figure in children's stories. Grace pauses. I imagine the Lady of Pain dealt with her as all threats to Sigil are dealt with. How?
Updated my journal.
We don't. Rel was most likely sent to a maze, one of the latest prisons. Let me ask you some other questions, because that's all information I know. What do you know about the Blood War? The Blood War is a conflict that rages across the lower planes between the Betsero and the Tenari. They fight over whether evil should be lawful or chaotic. Fall from Grace pauses. It is a war best avoided at all costs. Lest Tenari and the Betsero butt heads and leave the rest of the planes in peace. Or at least in relative peace. Did you serve in it? No, my mother did. Succubi generally tempt mortals to bring their spirits to the abyss to create more Tenari to die in the Blood War. He said that as long as the war goes on, the rest of the planes are allowed relative peace. Well, the war is so large that most races get caught up in it against their wishes. Ignoring it often proves just as dangerous as participating in it. Did you surf in it? Okay, yes, other questions? Can I read your diary? No. Please! Chris, I lay my service secrets. Let's see, why'd you set the brothel? Why'd you establish such a place? Falcon Grace raises an eyebrow. That's an odd question, she frowns. I don't think anyone has ever asked me that, at least directly. My apologies, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was merely curious. Oh no, apologies are necessary. I am more than happy to discuss the reasons with you if you wish. Would you like to hear them? Yes. Part of the answers to your question requires that you know that I am a member of the Society of Sensation. Of course! The succubus is a part of the Society of Sensation that meets with the way and the whole. Our faction believes that one should experience as much of the multiverse as possible. And that's why you established a brothel? The brothel is intended to slate the lusts of even the hardened intellectual. It is designed to stimulate the mind. Shut up, watch! to heighten one's awareness of themselves and others, to create new ways of experiencing another person. Oh, it is for those who seek something more than the shallow physical pleasures that fill the hive and lower wards. Well, I wouldn't call them shallow. I mean, I can understand. So, the Rothwell's school of sorts. Almost went the wrong way there. Yes, I hope that by learning the art of language and its subtleties, the patrons and the students may learn more about themselves. One is only as limited to their command of the language. To be able to employ language to evoke emotions in others is a tremendous skill. Other questions? 6. Other questions?
Yes.
Now this is the meat and potatoes of what I want to know. How did you come by the name Fall from Grace? The meaning of the name is a complicated subject. There's much to be said, and a great deal is better left unsaid. Is Fall from Grace your real name? Perhaps. She smiled slightly. Perhaps not. There are names which are given and names which are earned. Who is to say which is the real one? I think name which is earned carries the great. Let's see. I think names which are earned carry greater weight. That may be so. Why do you think that? Because a name that is earned is not arbitrary. A name that is earned tells of what you've accomplished. Guess not. Your point is well taken. So why are you called Fall from Grace? Would it matter? She smiles. It is an earned name. It matters to me. I would like to know how you came to be called that. I have fallen from my people. Some would say risen from my people, perhaps, but fall feels more right to me. She looks at you questioningly. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. After all, fall carries with an underlying sense of loss. Fall from Grace is soft from what, then nods thoughtfully. Yes, perhaps that's why it felt as it did. I came to terms with the loss long ago, but the name has remained. Are you sure you've come to terms with it? 1,000 experience. Fall from Grace meets your gaze, and you are once again struck by the brilliant shade of blue in her eyes. It is turbulent like the ocean before a storm. I had thought so, yet in speaking to you, you've caused me to realize some things. Smiles. You have my thanks. Well, if you want to talk about it, let me know, alright? Smiles. You are most kind. I will do so. Alright, other questions. We're going to ask some more questions.
Yes.
I want to talk to you about my companions. I'm pretty sure Anna's like, bitch, I hit you! Who in particular you wish to discuss? Well, let's start with me. We should discuss. To be honest, do you have any idea who or what I might be? Grace frowns in thought. I freely admit that you are something of an enigma. She smiles. But I find such mysteries intriguing. Shall we dump a punch-slash situation? Yes. First, while it is possible that you are a tiefling or some rare crossbreed, my guess is you are human, or were at one time. Oh. Right? Your appearance is approximately a male in his early 30s. The stitching of scar tissue make an exact determination difficult. Tell me about it. The key to your past is your memory, and it seems that certain locations, events, and people trigger seemingly forgotten memories. It would seem to be in your best interest to visit as many locations as possible, and speak to as many others as possible. In short, experience your universe as much as possible. Sensate's advice, eh? Fall from Grace gives a bemused smile. I would not advise it if I did not practice it, and if you did not already know it to be true. There may be something else should lie in my situation. Do you know anything else that might prove helpful? Well, shadows keep coming to kill me. I have a feeling they're following me, and I don't know why. Shadows? Fall from Grace is silent for a moment. Shadows are shades of the dead. They do not tend to hunt. They tend to lie in wait for victims. Curious. Any other thoughts on my situation? Well, I think there's someone out to murder me. So much so I built a tomb trap to try and kill him. According to an inscription in the tomb, he's been coming after me for, well, my incarnations can remember, it seems. Then whoever the killer is, he's lived a very long time to have pursued you so long. She taps her chin for a moment. Could the killer be an immortal as well? Possibly. Thought situation? Nothing of importance. Other
Yes.
questions? Let's see. Companions. We just talked about her, so we already know. Morte! Morte is most peculiar. I have seen a great deal in my life, but nothing quite like him. He behaves somewhat like a mimmer. Granted, there's no denying that he's knowledgeable, but he has a certain... She sniffs the air and wrinkles her nose. Praetorian smell about him. Praetorian smell? Yes, but he's not Betzero. At least not of any variety I've encountered. The smell alone, however, makes me treat the skull with caution. We mean Betzero Praetorian. My apologies. Praetor is one of the outer planes, the home of a race of fiends called the Betzero. They're evil creatures, yet they are organized and lawful in many of their behaviors. Some might call them devils. They believe in contracts and hierarchy. In many ways, they are like evil bureaucrats. Lovely! So the entire fricking thing... It's Congress. What would you say about... Wait, hold on. You were saying about the Praetorian smell. Yes, based up at zero. Okay. Okay, what would you say about Mimmer? Mimmers are encyclopedias of knowledge. The owner may ask them questions, and if they possess the knowledge, they will inform the user of what it knows. And Morte is a Mimmer? I don't believe so. Morte lacks the silvery metal that Mimmers customarily have, and he seems to have an attitude of his own. Such qualities are not present in conventional Mimmers. Grace shrugs slightly. He may be one, but he's unlike any I've ever encountered. Let's see here. Do I need to, Morte told me he's a mirror. Did he? Most curious. Very well then. I don't think... Yeah, it's not we can gain from talking about anyone else here. We got the important, things. Let's move out then! Morte!
Hey, what's eating you, Chief?
You said you were a mimmer. Wait, was it number 6 could be? Let's see now, confront. Said you were a mimmer, right? Yeah. Mimmers are floating encyclopedia. You put information in, you get information out. But aren't mimmers made of a silvery metal? So, maybe some are, but I'm not. And there's stranger things on the plains than that, Chief. I don't think you're a mimmer, Morty. What are you? What's with the interrogation? What do you know about mimmers anyway? Well, as I know... Let's see. I know enough to think you're lying to me. First that bit about the missing line from my back saying not to trust you. Then this. What am I supposed to think? Okay, I'm not a mimmer. But I know a lot of stuff, so I might as well be one. Yeah, what are you then? A floating skull knows a lot. What about the Praetorian smell you have? What do you know about the Praetor smells like? Unless... Hey, you've been talking about me with that Tanara, haven't you? What does she know? Well, she's obviously touching something. It's a Praetorian smell, right? Yeah, well, yeah, so I smell a little. Excuse me. Why do you smell like a Praetor? I was in the house for a while. Kind of a long while. The stench was kind of gross on you. You were in the house? What were you doing there? Filled out experience. See, well, there's this pillar on the furnace. That's the first layer of Praetor. It's called the Pillar of Skulls, but it's more like a pillar of heads. There is some bashers still, and it's supposedly made of the heads of Burks, mostly sages and skulls, who used their knowledge of this, knowing of that when they were alive to stretch the truth a little. So much they might have hurt or killed someone by doing it. Well, when I died, I ended up there. Funny, huh? Not really. Morty goes silent for a moment. Yeah, you're right. It's not funny at all. You see, I think I knew a lot of things when I was alive. And maybe when I did know something, I didn't always tell the truth about it. I'm thinking that when I bent the truth once or twice, it may have led to someone getting penned in a dead book sooner than they should have. It was me, wasn't it? I want to say it. I want to say it. Can you remember who? I can't say I know it, Chief, but I think it was you. Of course! At least once. The thing is, I can't remember what happened. I don't even remember being human, or what was he like before I woke up on the pillar? Why'd you forget? That's pretty much the way of things when you die, as I'm sure you're no stranger to. You just forget. Figure I wasn't a sterling member of the community while I was alive. But hell, who is? Morty sighs. It's just that I can't help it. Nothing's worse than being honest all the time. Nothing's worse than being... except being sentenced to hell. That sounds a lot worse than telling the truth. Yeah, you're right. Again. I hope y'all didn't hear that. I really hope you didn't hear that. I'm not gonna say what. Morty clicks his teeth. The way he does it reminds you of someone drumming their fingers. I guess you just all that good and evil and lying and cheating catches up with you. And when I got pinned in the dead book, it was my turn to pay the fireman. So how did you escape the pillar?
Updated my journal.
Well, you helped me, Chief. When you show up at the Pillar of Skulls, I pushed my way to the front. My obvious know-how and charm attracted your attention. You knew that I was the head that knew the most, so I cut a deal with you. Deal? Oh, memory! As Morte speaks, your vision seems to bleed to a fiery red, and you hear howling, a horrible screaming tower of voices. Chittering, screeching, hammering, all of them begging, screaming to be freed, and Morty's voice, faint, almost lost in the horde, sounds desperate, frightened, and pathetically, tragically lost. Echo, you skull, speak. The howling voices fall silent. You watch the tiny red-lined skull, its cracked features cast in a hellish light, turn its eyes up at you. Blood and ichor has streamed across its features, and its teeth chatter as if called. I can help you. I know what you seek. All these hands, all they're knowing. Just please, I beg you, free me. Let me help you. I'll tell you anything. Everything. Echo, will you? Swear it, Skull. Swear you will serve me until my end days. Or here you will remain. Oh, damn. TNO was a douche. I swear, just please free me. You watch as Morty sickeningly swallows his pride, almost a tangible thing. I beg you. Let me help you, please. Echo. Very well, I shall free you. Your vision slides as if you are moving, and the howling, screaming cacophony begins again. A nightmarish horde of howls and catcalls and taunts and insults. The feel of your hand sliding into the filthy quagmire of the pillar. The biting of fangs, mandibles in your hands, locking around the tiny skull and ripping, tearing it from the pillar like an old scab. Echo, it is done. Look down at the bloody skull in your scarred hands, its eyes covered in ichor from the pillar, and its teeth chattering once, twice. It reminds you of a wailing newborn, helpless, and in the eyes of the man you once were, pathetic. Echo, I have freed you. Now your life and your death is mine, Morte. Your vision swirls the mist of the past drifting away, and Morte is still chattering on. We talked for a while, Chief, you and me, seeing whether the arrangement would work, and I think we both were really impressed with each other. So you invited me off the pillar. I've been kind of with you ever since. What happened then? Well, I didn't know I'd lose most of the pillar's knowledge once I was out of it. I mean, how was I to know? I'd never been off the damn thing. But you're pretty understanding about it. You lost all the knowledge you said you had? Your vision swirls again, making you dizzy, and you feel your gut churn. You hear the cackling snapping of bone, and Morty's howls, howling in pain, screaming for someone to stop killing him. And your hand lashing out again and again. Echo, damn you, Skull! You lied to me! I'll thrust you back in that damnable pillar and leave you to die there! Go forward! TNL, I want to hit you in the ballsack! There is the clatter of bone against what sounds like metal, a floor or a wall, and the skittering of teeth knocked free. You can hear Morty mewling like a beaten dog for you to Echo, know that your suffering on the pillar will be nothing to the torment I will make you suffer. Your vision swirls and Morty cries ebb. fading into the chattering rhythm. So you realize I still have my uses, so I took up with you, and I've been with you ever since. Morty, what did I want from the pillar, and how long was it that I freed you? Morty thinks for a moment. Well, for as long as I don't know the exact count, Chief. Ages, I suppose. I've done all I could to help you each time, but Morty sighs. It's not easy. And as for what you wanted at the pillar, I don't know. Once you pried me off, I couldn't remember. Morty, why didn't you say something when we were at the mortuary? Morty suddenly becomes defensive. Because I never know who you're gonna be. Some of your inclinations have been stark, raving mad. One time you woke obsessed with the idea that I was your skull, and chased me around the spire, trying to shatter and devour me. Luckily you were crushed by a passing cart in the street. Another good and lawful, you tried to thrust me back into the pillar because that's where I belonged, Morty smirks. That's why. Besides, no harm's ever come of you not knowing, so you stay with me all this time. Well, yeah, Chief. I said I would. Morty always keeps his promises. Well, most of them. There was just one chit on the Borea. Suddenly realize that Morty's tone has changed. Past the joke, you realize he's trying to hide something. Think about why he's with you. Morty, seriously, why are you still traveling with me? Chief, I said it's because I promised, alright? He looks irritated. What else could it be? I don't know. You don't need to stick around after I freed you. Well, of course not, Chief, but And suddenly his tone of voice strikes a chord in you, and you know why. He's remained with you all this time. You feel guilty. Because you led me to my death so long ago, isn't it? And you've been suffering ever since. Oh, come on, Chief. Me feel guilty? I'm Morty. No, I think that's it. When I came to free you from the fate you deserved, you couldn't help but try and help me. And when you could have left after I freed you, you remained. Because you felt indebted. Morty is silent for a moment, looking at you. Maybe. You know what's funny? At first, I don't know what the feeling was. It kind of slowly eats at you, you know? I mean, at first I thought it was the side effect of some enchantment that bound me to you. But after a couple 100 years, I realized it was more than that. Something deeper. I just felt drawn, connected to you somehow. Maybe it's all your suffering, Chief. Your torment. I don't know. Maybe I felt, responsible for whatever it is I did. What if something I did brought you to this state? Thing is, I don't think me or whoever I was really ever had to see the consequences of all the lying and cheating I'd done. And when I saw you the first time while I was trapped on the pillar, somehow I knew that you were the one I betrayed. Once, long ago. Morty sighs. That's all I know. I see. Thanks for coming clean, Morty.
Updated my journal.
Woo! What the fuck? Let me go back here again. Strength! Morty, strength! Dexterity and constitution have increased permanently. That's what we wanted right there. Nah, don't thank me. Morty sighs. And to your surprise, his voice seems stronger somehow, more confident. Some of the cracks and features of the skull have vanished, as if healed. Nah, thanks is all to you. Feeling like I just had a plane moved off my shoulders, so to speak. Alright, let's move on.
I feel stronger.
And finally! Finally I level up! Let's see, I need... Damn it, what do I need? What the hell do I need to get that last damn page? Like, what the hell? I can't remember the This sucks. I can't remember the exact stats I needed to finish that last god-dang ever-loving thing. The circle of thingamadoodle. Let's see. I have it around here, so this is fine. Okay, yeah, I found the page. I need 19 wisdom in order to finish the last circle of, or maybe last circle, I have no idea, of, Zerthamon, I have no idea. So I need to up my wisdom. 1. Which puts my wisdom at 20 now. Which means, now I should be able, hopefully, unless I needed to update my intelligence too. I may have just fudged. Yeah, I think I just fudged. Because I need 19 in... Yeah, I fudged. I'm gonna be mage for a while. I'm gonna save. $25T, true, whatever. Because, yes, I know I fudged up last time and was saving the wrong damn numbers. So, yeah, she wants to be near me. Now let's form up here. So, now that we've... Just gonna fling that off just randomly, huh? Okay. Damn! Okay, I hope you didn't hear that. But yes, we've managed to talk to her about our... past here a little bit. And now that we've finally learned Morte's past there and gotten some good experience for it, what's next for us to run around to? Find out next time on the BygMan Plays Planescape Torment, hosted by Bormac. Till next episode, Big 5 Plus, sayonara, and... You know, the Nameless One really was a damn douche back then. I'm surprised Morte even stayed around with his punk ass. Personally, I'd like to go back in time and punch the Nameless One in his balls, but then the current Nameless One, who's actually, as far as I can see, a decent motherfucker, would actually go, "Ah, my balls!" And so that would actually kind of be bad.